All right, guys, let me talk my shit here. Let me talk my shit. We've heard a whole lot about overtraining, about training too hard and not allowing your body to recover. But what about undertraining? Because I feel like a lot of people these days, a lot of people in this generation might be very guilty of undertraining, of not training hard enough, of leaving too many reps in reserve, of not pushing it hard enough to cause the body to adapt and get stronger. And I'm primarily talking about powerlifting here, guys. Now, here's a crazy thought. Here's a crazy idea. Why not take a moderately heavy weight in the 10 to 15 rep range and just do an AMRAP and see how many reps you can get? Through my years of training, that's been simply the most effective way to train. Just pick a decently heavy weight, usually in the 10 to 15 rep range, and just go for as many reps as possible, guys. Like today, I did 495 for 12 sumo deadlift. That's in the 10 to 15 rep range, obviously. And like that's caused the best results for me over the years, guys. You know what I mean? Like I could do something like, 495 for 5 sets of 5. But I just feel like I'm going to get more out of it just doing one set and going all the way doing an AMRAP because you're pushing to your limits. You know what I mean? Like, why do 3 sets of leaving a bunch of reps in reserve or 5 sets of leaving a bunch of reps in reserve? Because you don't know exactly how strong you are. And I've always got way more out of just making it real simple. Pick a weight and do as many reps as possible. Not to the point where the form breaks down horribly or you get injured, but just pretty close to your limit, pretty close to failure, With 495 for 12 today, maybe I had one more rep, maybe I had 13, but it was very close to my limit, very close to failure. I really just feel like too many people overcomplicate training and undertrain. They don't train with enough intensity, not close enough to failure, and I feel like in a lot of cases it's holding back their results. Because like Rich Piana said, you get out what you put in. You're not going to get great results by half-assing your training and always doing RPE 6, RPE 7, RPE 8 at the very most, doing sets of 3, sets of 5 where you're really holding back. Like, what are you really getting out of that, guys? And think about this like a metaphor. If you're building a tower and you want to make that tower as tall as possible, you have to step to the very top of the tower to add the next stone. And it's like that for training. And it's exactly like that for training, guys. Like I was saying, if you're building a tower and you need to add the next stone, you most likely would step to the top of the tower and add the next stone. You wouldn't step to 70 or 80% of the height of the tower and add the next stone. And the metaphor for that in training is, how are you going to build upon not your best? How are you going to build upon 70% of your best or 80% of your maximal strength or maximal set? Like, you don't know what your true limit is unless you push pretty close to that limit, and then you can build upon that. So my advice to new lifters or intermediate or even advanced lifters, for me personally, the best way I found to train, keep it real simple, make your top set in the 10 to 15 rep range, pretty heavy weight, pretty close to failure, good form, and just see how many reps you can get. And if you think this is a tactic that experienced lifters don't use, Shane Hunt sumo deadlifted 765 for 13. That's in the 10 to 15 rep range. That's extremely heavy weight. And one more thing I wanted to say that I wanted to make very clear, just because it's in the 10 to 15 rep range, which is relatively high reps, doesn't mean it has to be lightweight. For example, Shane Hunt's 765 for 13, I don't think anyone would by any means consider 765 lightweight at all. And for me, 495 for 12 today, for a guy who's only 185 pounds, that's relatively heavy weight. So just because it's high reps in the 10 to 15 rep range does not mean it's going to be lightweight or pussy weight. Choose a moderately heavy weight and rep it for 10 to 15 pounds on your top set, and then just do whatever back down work. Guys, you don't have to listen to me. I'm just telling you what worked the best for me over my 10 plus years of training, 12 years of training. That worked the best. Just making it real simple, picking a weight in the 10 to 15 rep range and repping it out, doing an AMRAP, using good form, using good technique. And of course, sometimes I'll go heavier. Sometimes I'll do a single, or something, a set of 5 or a set of 3. But the bulk of my training, a lot of my training consists in the 10 to 15 rep range, going all out, pretty close to failure with good form and picking a pretty heavy weight. So give it a try, guys. I think it's the best way to train, and a lot of the best lifters swear by this. Pete Rubish made a video all about high rep deadlifts, a lot of it in the 10 to 15 rep range. Look that up if you want. High rep deadlifts for building strength by Pete Rubish. Obviously, I'm sure you guys, if you know about powerlifting, have heard of Pete Rubish. But yeah, guys, that's about it for today. Just that's my favorite way to train. And I feel like too many people are training either idiotically or unintensely. And you got to train smart and you got to train intense if you want the best results. It's about it for today, guys. Have a good one. God bless.